Happy Vlogmas Day 2. A little over a month ago, I got these boho knotless braids in the color 4. A few days after this hair appointment, I got laid off. So needless to say, me and this hairstyle have been through a lot. I was actually really shocked when it happened. I was in the middle of working and then everything kind of just shut off. Of course, I was like sad, confused. But after I got through those emotions, I was like, you know what? Thank you, God, because I know you must have something real good up your sleeve if this is going on right now, and I've been praying for a change. I'm almost through this section, but let's get into what I've learned since being laid off. I have some notes to the side so I can stay on track. It's a little different than my post-grad experience when I was applying for jobs, and like the whole job hunting vibe in general. It's just kind of different than how it was in 2021 through 2022. Also, a lot of people I noticed on LinkedIn were laid off around the same time. My sister told me there's this website. I'm gonna have to ask her. I'll insert it. It's not always accurate. It'll let you know like when layoff season is for certain companies. She never checked to see if my job was on there, but to be honest, looking back, the signs were there. Every time I get braids and I take them out, I'm like, oh, I would love to pay someone to do this. Okay, this might not be popular opinion, but I wrote this down because I feel like over the years I've kind of seen this to be true, but networking is low-key a little overrated. Networking only really works well when you and whoever you're connecting with both mutually have something that you want. When it comes to like needing a favor, like, oh my gosh, I'm interested in this company, do you know someone there? People are more open to talking to you if they know you have something that they want. For college students, I think it's a little bit different. Like, people are more open to talking to you. I've had some really interesting conversations with people when I was in college. Looking back, like, I've met some pretty high ranking people. Kind of hard to maintain it after you have that first conversation with people. I think that's why a lot of people suggest connecting with people that you're coming up with. Got that braid out. I need to be realistic. You can cut this shorter because I know I can at least cut like an inch of this off. The less hair I have to work with, the better. I remember in college I was connecting with this music supervisor. That's what I was interested in. If you don't know what that is, they basically are responsible for either clearing or picking the music that goes into like any type of like film, television, ads, stuff like that. I had like questions set up because I connected with another supervisor on LinkedIn, and he was like, you know, I don't really have time to like talk, but just send me your questions through here and I'll answer it. That's what I did, and I kind of approached a lot of my other conversations like that until I met with this one particular woman, and at the end of our conversation she was like, you know, it's better to just have like a, you know, a natural organic conversation than just saying, okay, my first question is, my second question is, and I was like, oh, gotcha. I kind of beat myself up over that, but you learn. With this layoff journey, of course, I've been reaching out to people. One, you realize like, dang, who really rock with you when you're in these down in the dumps situations. But a lot of these relationships are the reason why I've gotten like interviews and stuff like that. It's not been through applications, unfortunately, yet. The people who have been able to make this happen are the people who I have maintained conversations with. I've either like worked with them. There are ways to maintain it. Commenting on their LinkedIn posts and just staying in the loop and keeping your name kind of fresh on their mind helps. Emailing them, congratulating them on things they've been doing, but like, be genuine about it. Sometimes I would just message someone. I didn't want anything from them. I was just checking in, or if I see something that I think will benefit them, I'll let them know. Really have to like be intentional about, and not just expect that you've had one conversation with this person that they're going to just put you in the loop and like put a good word in for you. You know, a lot of these people also have seen my work ethic, so they like that and are willing to like vouch for me, which I appreciate. And I've networked with people that have said like, oh, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z for you, da-da-da. Crickets. You know, it's not on them. Networking now, I kind of try not to get my hopes up. I try to uphold what I say I'm going to do, especially in the music industry. Networking is really tricky. Just be genuine. Even if you don't think you're going to get something from this person, like, oh, I don't need to talk to them because they are not where I want to be, you never know. I've had so many impromptu interviews recently and conversations. I'm trying to get better at just like first impressions and conversations and not like overthinking it, because I feel like I'm just in my head so much. I've been trying to talk, and every 5 seconds everybody wants to go in the kitchen at the same time and just start moving stuff around, and I'm trying just to approach regular conversation. So let's go to what's next on the list. Y'all, I'm almost done with this section. We're doing really good. I'm not gonna lie, once I got my job, I just completely disregarded LinkedIn. I deleted the app. I really was not trying to be on it because I'm like, I got a job, y'all. I don't need to be on here. You should just be on there engaging. I did get the LinkedIn Premium. I've learned that contacting people directly is really how you're gonna get something shaken when it comes to these jobs and like reaching out to hiring managers. But also I was like, oh my gosh, they're not responding. I remember in the past, they would respond for the most part. Of course, with the LinkedIn Premium, you can see who views your profile. Y'all see my message, but y'all not saying nothing. So that's been kind of confusing. Oh, we're all done over here. I try to find like a commonality, like if they're from Louisiana or if we're in the same sorority. Last year I found out about this extension I can add on Google. I've been trying to gatekeep this, I'm not gonna lie. When I tell my friends about it, they're like, what? Like they've never heard of it. I just found out about it like a year or two ago when I was doing one of my like freelance jobs. This is so good. When you're contacting someone directly through email, it can be pretty stressful trying to figure out, are they going to respond? Do they see your email? Do I need to follow up? All the things. There's this thing called Mail Suite, and there is a paid version, but I have the free version, and you can connect that extension to your Gmail account. I'm not sure if it works for any other type of email. When you use it and send an email to someone, it will track to see if that person has read it. It's like in text messages when it shows like if the person read it, it shows me when the email was open, how many times it was read, like all the things. It doesn't always work when I send the email out through my phone, so I try to do it on my laptop because that's where I have the extension. But game changer. Gives you peace of mind as well, because sometimes sending these emails out to people, like you're really excited to see a response because it's hard to get somebody email. Not everybody has their email linked on LinkedIn. Mail Suite is the name. I'll insert like a link below. While we're on the topic of LinkedIn, that is the main avenue that I am using to find jobs and apply for jobs. LinkedIn's a little bit different than how it was in 2021. If you have LinkedIn Premium, then you can get like these certain credits and you can directly message anybody who, if you didn't have it, you could not contact. But I've learned that connecting with the person first and them accepting you on LinkedIn will of course allow them to see your message. It's kind of like how it is on Instagram. When someone messages you that you don't follow, it's not going to go into the main general section that you'll see your other messages. That's kind of how LinkedIn works. And I actually did get a response back from my hiring manager. I did make a post on LinkedIn announcing like that I am open to work. It got a lot of engagement. Appreciated people who are sharing for exposure. Pretty much all my LinkedIn followers are all in the music industry, like, and sometimes they'll like job postings. So I'm like, okay, because a lot of people for some reason don't post the jobs in the job posting section on LinkedIn. They'll just post about it on their main feed. I know there are other avenues where you can find jobs. I haven't seen the best results from Indeed. I think it's called Greenhouse. I've applied to a few jobs through that avenue. I've joined like these Slack groups that post job postings and stuff like that. I'm just trying to stay in the know, and I have friends sending me jobs. I've been talking about communicating this whole conversation pretty much because that's really how it is when you're on the job hunt. Like, you gotta be talking to people. I feel like I can't talk about communicating without talking about the newest girly on the block. I'm not even sure if she's that new, but she's new to me when it comes to this job hunting season, and that is ChatGPT. I used to use WordTune. I think that was around when I was also like applying for jobs, but ChatGPT is a whole different beast. Changing your resume to fit every job description is a lot, and ChatGPT is just a great tool in general, or like Gemini, to basically pull keywords from the job description and place them in your experience section. I always make sure to say like, don't embellish. Don't be saying I'm doing X, Y, and Z and I don't. There's this lady on TikTok who I've been following for a while that has like interview tips and resume tips, and she actually has a resume template that I ended up buying, y'all. This was like within a few days of me finding out that a layoff was on the horizon. I was like, you know what? I am over using Canva for my resumes. From what I've been seeing on TikTok, a lot of people just want a standard black and white resume. Of course, I think maybe marketing may be okay with like more creative ones. I had an interview the other day, well, a few weeks ago, and I asked her for feedback, of course, and she said that she really liked that my resume was 1 page. Of course, every recruiter is different. I've seen on LinkedIn, they're like, 2 pages is fine. 3 pages is fine, but definitely need to be changing your resume and cover letter to align with the role. That's just something, unfortunately, you just gotta do. Major progress has been made. My little sister came in and took down some of my braids. I think the last thing I was just talking about was making my LinkedIn post. One thing that I did not know what happened after making that post is that I would have a whole bunch of LinkedIn bots in my DMs or in my messages. Looked at their account and it just wasn't anything official about it. I don't know if LinkedIn is doing anything about these bots, but I had too many. Hallelujah, we got 2 braids left. Last thing on LinkedIn, I've heard people say that it's good to engage with the company's post that you're interested in working for. Last thing, so I understand that I am pretty fortunate in the fact that I have 3 braids left. I realized I'm really fortunate that even with this layoff, I don't have to necessarily stress about money and like figuring out like where I'm going to work immediately, because I do live at home with my parents. I've been really intentional about curating a good daily schedule. I've decided I'm going to cosplay as a full-time content creator in the time being while applying for jobs. I want to be a content creator and like really grow. I don't know if I want to do it full-time. I think there's other avenues that I want to experience working in. There's no better time like the present and act like I already got what I prayed for. And I think that's kind of what's been helping me stay encouraged. I was trying to hold myself to the standard that I had when I was working, because I did get to create my own schedule for my previous job as well. To realize like, okay, when you work these hours, you weren't able to like edit or film in the daytime. Like, take advantage of this light, because the sun goes down way early with daylight savings. I can't imagine going through this without having Jesus. There's a purpose for every season. There's something I could be doing. There's something that I could be preparing in this season. And I mentioned preparing, that means like getting your answers ready. I've had some kind of impromptu chats with people, not knowing like, is this an interview or are we just connecting? And I keep getting stumped on the question of, what do you want to do? Because honestly, I just want to learn. I just want to learn so I can see what I don't want to do and see what I want to do, you know? I have like a set resume that I send out that kind of has a gist of all my experience on it. Like if someone's like, okay, send me your resume, I just have like a set resume that I'll just send out automatically. We have made it down to the last braid and I have hit all of my talking points. If there's anything that you're doing that I didn't mention that's helpful being on the job hunt journey, let me know. Leave in the comments below. If you have any questions or anything, I'd be happy to answer them in the comments or in a future video. I've been pretty vocal on social media talking about how it's very discouraging applying for jobs, especially you're putting a lot of effort into them and you're just not hearing anything back. But my sister told me something today that I think I definitely needed to hear, and that is that a lot of people aren't applying for jobs right now because they have similar mindsets as me. They think that no one's reading them and they're not going to hear anything back, so they just want to wait until next year. So if you're in the same boat as me, just know you're not alone. I'm always happy to give some encouragement, give some advice where I can. Happy Vlogmas Day 2. Let's get these comments rolling. If you made it to this part of the video, comment down below what's a goal you want to hit before the year ends. Walk in peace and love. God bless. And I will see you guys in my next video.